Hi guys, it's Caroline. I am pretty late, with sending in actually a lot of, my projects. So, this is the Be Healthy Pillar 1, and I'm really sorry about how late it is. I could give you a million excuses as to why it is, but that wouldn't do anything. It's just sometimes life. And I chose for my project to do something for 30 days, more on mind than body, that would be healthy for me. So, after I came home from teaching and spending some time in PEI, I found myself lost. I had plans to start back school, and I didn't, because essentially I felt that the universe, God, my higher power was kind of telling me that wasn't my plan. And for a really long time I was trying to make it mine. And so I came home. Of course, there's not a moksha in Dallas. I was a little upset about that, because even though you can do it at home, and I love doing it by myself sometimes, at the same time sometimes you need that power, that extra energy from other people, from, that space, that special space that is to help you, to heal you. And I missed that a lot, and I still miss it. So I found my headspace, very down. And I also found that I had neglected a huge part of me that makes me feel healthy, which is God. And for the longest time, I've had people, and of course, I grew up in the South, so, there's a wide, crazy range of people who, don't have a higher power belief, or they are crazy Bible beaters. Don't really associate with those, but they do pop up from now and then. And I think a lot of times, and not just in the South, but sometimes in the whole entire world, that we hear and see about situations where people are radical, and it automatically turns us off from religion. And so for a long time, whenever my friends, and I have a few friends who can be a little over the top, just because of who they're surrounding themselves with, if that makes sense. But for the longest time, I would stick to, when people asked me, what my beliefs are, what I believed, I essentially told them, I'm a Christian, I'm Methodist, I grew up in the Methodist church, but I'm more spiritual than religious. And for a really long time, people, I don't think, understood that. And I think the more I tried to explain my practices with my spirituality, with my religion, I think it kind of was understood better. And basically, for me, what that means is I don't read the Bible every day. I don't. But I do try and pray every day, because to me, I know that there's someone rooting for me, someone always listening. That's my connection kind of with the world. So we'll get on that later. For 30 days, I decided that one thing I had neglected was kind of keeping up with my spirituality. And something that I always noticed before I came home is that I was reading a devotional, just a really short devotional every day. Even at night, I have the app on my phone. I have the little book, and it's called Jesus Calling. And they're really short, for instance, like that's one. And to be honest, sometimes I feel like they were written for me that day. So I decided for 30 days I needed to get my mind space back in a better place, because even though I felt like I was in some spot where I couldn't escape and everything was kind of, I couldn't control the things around me. I could control my head, what I thought, my feelings, my reactions, my emotions, and this helped me. So, I'll skim to today's. How about that? And I'll read that to you guys. If I can find the date. Okay. Where are you? Where are you, bee? Okay, so today's the 22nd. So it said, "You need me every moment. Your awareness of your constant need for me is your greatest strength. Your neediness, properly handled, is a link to my presence. However, there are pitfalls that you must be on guard against. Self-pity," I was doing that, "self-preoccupation, giving up. Your inadequacy presents you with a continual choice, dependence on me, or despair. The emptiness you feel within will be filled either with problems or my presence. Make me central in your consciousness by praying continually. Simple, short prayers flowing with the present moment. Use my name liberally to remind you of my presence. Keep on asking me and you'll receive, so that your gladness may be full and complete." So that was today's, and I actually read that this morning, and sometimes, maybe it doesn't relate for you, and maybe it's something that only relates for me, but sometimes that just helps me check in, like how it said right here, where it said, "The emptiness you feel can either be filled with problems," which everyone has, or my presence, which to me is, I don't always feel like I'm alone, or I can take my problems that are consuming my mind and dwell on them, or I can say, you know what, I give up. Like, I'm gonna stop trying to control and make sense of what I can't, because if I'm gonna go through it, I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna try and handle it with grace. And for challenges and triumphs, I wrote little notes. For challenges, doing it daily, mindfully. So it's easy to just pick that up and be like, I'm gonna read this really fast and I'll be done. So that was really hard, to actually make sure that I'm going to take 2 minutes out of my day, even when I'm in the worst mood, and actually read it and take it in. Triumphs, I would say definitely finding how, finding how, like, definitely realizing and putting myself into a moment where I realized I'm not the only person with problems, and I'm not the only one that reads that and is put back into their place. Because I think so often we can get caught up in our own problems, and feel alone, neglected, sad, angry. And I did that. I was lost. Like, I felt just gross, and I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and it's so against everything that I try and teach and I try and live by, and I wasn't doing it. And I just realized that you don't have to hide your problems, you know. I've never been someone to just completely pour out what's going on, but at the same time, it's healthy to vent and talk and seek help. Even if it is simply by reading one little thing a day. So for what I learned about myself, I realized that for years, up until pretty much the last 2, I completely hid my religion. Because I feel like so many times people will say I'm Christian, and they think you're like a Southern Baptist, which I shouldn't be very against it, but it is sometimes known as crazy and a little Bible beaterish. And so for the longest time, I would just